Previously on my farming life.
And Bungle is in the combine today. And all of these things mean that we've got more acreage to cover, we've got more land to work, which means that we need bigger implements and we need bigger tractors to cover it. Hello, Trev, how's it going?
Hello, mate. Good to see you. How are you keeping?
Well, what's the story with the case and the NewHolland there?
Two beauties, aren't they? We took those in as trade-ins from an arable farmer up in Berwick upon Tweed.
Do you think as well that we'd be able to get a demo of them, or at least have a bit of a drive? Take it for a spin somewhere?
That won't be a problem at all.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of My Farming Life. Look at me in a big new tractor. It's not mine yet, and it might not be mine, but we're giving it a bit of a demonstration today, and we're going to talk about that in a bit more detail as we go through. We're also pulling a very nice, shiny new mower. This is a huge, big shout out and thank you to Trevor, the local dealer, who had one of these in the yard as a demonstration. He's like, whilst you're looking to try out a tractor, why don't you try out a nice new mower? Now, he knows fine well that we're not looking to buy a mower, but, you know, why not give it a go? We are cutting for hay. We're cutting a little bit of grassland that's up on our block here, up at South Healy, and then we've got to go and do a little bit of new ground as well, as a bit of a change up happening. And there's actually going to be a lot of changes happening around the yard that we're going to run through a little bit today. Specifically changes up at this end. It will affect what's happening at Moor Farm a little bit as well, but it won't be too crazy. But how's that work properly? There you go. A little bit touchy-feely with some of the controls here, but I think I've just about got it. And we're going perfect. It's a really nice mower. It's brand new Krone mower they have on demo there. And Trevor said to give it a go and see what I think. We are driving a NewHolland. This is the T7185. It's from 2011. And it is a little bit of a demonstration for us to see. It's a 50k box. About 180 horsepower, give or take, in there, and plenty of power for what we need. And that's that huge big step up in what we need to think about for our practices moving forward. Main reason we're doing this is, like I say, we need to think about getting a little bit more capability. Has that gone down again? It has. Perfect. We need a little bit more capability, a little bit more power in there, so that we can actually push on with our with our forage work and with our cultivation work, because we're looking to get bigger and bigger in certain areas across the board, and we're taking on a little bit more land here and there and looking to increase the number of cattle that we have, or the finishing calves that we have. And you can only do that really by doing everything a bit faster, a bit more efficiently. And one thing that we need to do that is bigger equipment. Bigger equipment needs more horsepower on the front end, so this is what we're doing. So it's going to be a gradual work, really. See what we can do. That's up there. Perfect. Excellent stuff. And yeah, we'll just keep cracking along with it, really. So far, first impressions, we've only had this for a day or two. It's lovely. Getting a little bit getting used to it. Never had anything with one of these gearboxes in there, but it seems to be going quite well. And we'll continue to play around with it and figure out what that looks like and how we can utilize it. One thing we will be noticing is when we come to test everything here and put it to work, all of our equipment's way too small. So it's going to be a bit of a vicious circle here. You buy a new tractor and then you ultimately end up just slowly upgrading all the equipment that goes with it. So we're making the most of the time that we have with this. Right now we've got a lot of hay work to do. The winter wheat is not quite ready yet. We'll be into that field first. The combine's up here now. So we are getting a bit of hay going. My uncle is going to pick up the 7810 to bring that up to put the small square baler on, because we do need to make some small square bales for some horsey people that we do provide for. And then the rest will be going into round bales for up here as well. So we've got this field to go at. We've got the one just down through the trees there where Bungle is in with the rake at the minute. And then the new ground that we're going down to as well. So I'm not quite sure with the new ground. It is going to be a bit of a haul to bring it back up here. We weren't anticipating having it. It is on Uncle's farm, so we weren't expecting that, but we will have to go and have a look see. But we'll fill you in with that as and when we're down there and when we get going. Right now, I'm just going to get this bit all done here. Yeah, lots of changes coming up with the farmyard here, which has been something that we've been discussing of late. It's not really major investments or changes like that to this yard. It's going to be a little bit of a shuffle around, but it's logistically, it's what we need to do, and it saves us having to saves us having to invest anywhere else, or you know, invest in infrastructure where we can probably get away without it. So yeah, that should all be good. But yeah, very impressed with this so far. Anyway, it's nice and smooth. It's a quiet tractor to be in there. When you step outside of this with the mower, my god, is it loud, and you just don't hear it in here at all. So it's nice. We're going to be trialing a few other machines as well. There is a case that Trevor has in his yard there that we'll give a go and see what that's like. Very similar kind of size in terms of wheelbase and horsepower. So that might be an interesting comparison. I mean, ultimately, they're very similar tractors, just different color paintwork really these days. But we'll see and see if it hits and checks more boxes than this one. But see what we're looking for. We are looking for used equipment as well. Like I say, this is 2011. I think the case is a little bit younger, maybe 2014 or so, but significant jump up on technology to what we're currently driving anyway. So that will be interesting to see. And depending upon what finances look like, we might as well, we might have an option there to trade in. But with what we're looking to do elsewhere, I think it's not going to be worthwhile to be doing really. But we shall cross that bridge. But anyway, yeah, we'll get this little strip knocked out, and then we'll have a bit of a discussion around what's changing up here. All right, so that's done. I can't really go any further down into the dip there. It's just too rough as it is along the sides, but you know, that's a good enough start. We're just going to come up to a stop around here, and then all right, that's going to come down to a bit of a stop, but it's a very nice looking machine. Good setup as well. Lovely looking mower there. We've been able to, as that just comes down to a stop, we won't go too close. There you go. We've been able to really spread out the swath on the back here, so it's put it as wide as possible. Let it dry out there. We'll leave this on the deck for a few days before it gets spread about anyway. It's a similar working width to our John Deere, but a lot more advanced there. There's so much more that you can do with this in terms of varying different heights and adjustments, but yeah, it's looking pretty good so far. So yeah, like I was mentioning, lots of changes happening. This is a mixed arable yard, and it's also a mixed livestock yard. You got your beef cattle in the shed, and we have sheep here. Now, we have been discussing for a while, specifically Dad and Uncle there have been looking into it in a lot more detail. There's the combine ready to go, but we're going to be moving the sheep from here. We're going to be downsizing the sheep a little bit. They're all going to go down to the moor farm, and we're going to keep them all down there because we've got a little bit more space down there for them. And the main reason for that being as well is that we need this shed to store bales in. We need straw and hay storage really. We've got a little bit of storage space over there for straw, but we want to keep it inside where we can. And then when I open this up, you'll see that we've got sheep in here. We could do without having the pens in here. So we've always stuck our hay in this bit here, which is fine, but we need a bit more space. So obviously we can't stick it into there. This shed here is always full of machinery. It's empty now because everything's out, but the combine will be going in there. Combine header, trailer, baler, that kind of stuff. This will have to get moved soon, I think, actually, because Uncle will be coming up to get the baler out of here. So we do need a little bit more space. We're obviously in here. You got the baler itself. This will be put onto the 7810, and then we get going there. So with that in mind, like I say, we are taking on the new shed. We're taking on a tiny small block of land with a shed on there. I mean, it's about 5 or 6 acres in total. We're not getting it for the land. It is for the cattle shed itself. And it's just over the hills there. So not far away from some of our cereal ground that we have. And it's going to allow us to finish off cattle. About 50 or so calves in there, which is what the plan will be as of this autumn. But we just need, if that's going to happen, we need to have the facilities up here to store a lot more fodder and a lot more feed. So we can feed both whatever's in the shed here and whatever's happening over there. The sheep, they'll probably take, we're going to get rid of about, there's about 200 or so up here, 250 I think now. So we'll probably end up getting rid of about 100, taking the last 150 down to more farm where they'll stay down there. And then that shed will just turn into a regular storage shed. So we'll have a little bit more space up here for everything, really. So that is going to be good all around. So that's going to be the plan. And we'll see how we get on. But yeah, we'll get this folded up, and then we can get ourselves on the way down to some of the new ground. All right, so let's see if we can get this folded up first. And it comes Then we want to make sure we get these folded up. And then that one as well gets a little bit narrow there on the side. That just hooks in like that. It folds up very nicely, actually. I must say, it does tow very well behind the tractor. So let's get ourselves a way down then, and we'll just go to see what's going on. We've got a beacon on this tractor now as well, so we'll stick that on. Yeah, so from harvest standpoint, we've got 2 fields of wheat left. 2 big fields, this one and the bigger one down at Moore Farm. And then there's a couple of fields of linseed, and then 1 field of beans that'll be a little bit off, but otherwise we're pretty good. The linseed's coming through there, it's not looking too bad at all, and then we will be good. And then there's a bit of maybe we'll be doing more silage, some third cut silage, I don't know. We'll see how we get on. Ooh, easy does it through there. All right, nicely does it. Watch the fence there, and away we go. Yeah, it's just such a smooth tractor to be in as well. It really, really is. When it comes to road work as well, it's absolutely just delightful. Now, one thing we did have to consider as well is because we're doing a lot more, or we will be doing a lot more road work, specifically when we start to get into carting around from some of the new ground. This is a bit tight though. Good lord. Think I'm okay. We'll just keep going. There's Bungle working away. Looks like he's actually in the 7810 then. They must have swapped machines over. Won't take too much longer to get that done. Okay. This little paddock here, we've always just kind of put a top in there or two when we've had them finished for the season, so we won't be going into there with any machines. But yeah, Bungle's cracking along there, looking good. We'll just take it nice and slowly over this bridge. Oh, just brushing the skirt on one side there a little bit, but we're through anyway. You can see why we don't bring a combine that way. And all right, there we are. Lovely stuff. All right, through the village we'll go, and then we're off to down onto our farm. It just seems like such a large bit of equipment for in here. Really gotta just take your time through and over. And over this bridge one more time here. Excellent stuff. Oh, excuse me, sir. Alright, and so we're gonna head on down to our new ground there, and we'll just see what's happening. And then we can hopefully, all being well, we'll get that node knocked down there. We'll have a look in to see what's going on with the ground itself. We have had someone now, what would it be, 4 days ago, doing some soil tests of the 2 fields that we're taking over, just so we have an idea of what we're looking into. And we also got them to look into our fields around Moore Farm, because the yield that we obtained for the oats was abysmal, frankly. So really, really poor. Was not pleased with that in any way. So we'll need to see what we can do to improve that ground and that soil quality and what that will actually look like. So we will be doing a little bit more work there. So we're hoping to get some results back very, very soon. And we'll be able to see what we need to inject into the fields to improve that. Oh, there's Uncle. There he goes. Good lord. Yeah, as you can see, it's just such a smooth tractor to drive. This one really is. 50, I think it's 50k rated, but I think it's a little bit more than that. It's maybe like 52, 53k. But yeah, it's an absolute blast to drive. And we'll just come on into here. Take it a little bit wider because I don't want to take out the bollards. Perfect. And then with this, you know what, we'll just go straight down the track. Something we're not supposed to do too much of, but we'll go through Bellum here and just, the roads are quiet. We'll take it. And yeah, so this is my uncle's farm. Not the uncle who we've just passed there, the other brother. He retired long time ago, and he has been holding onto the ground and just leasing out to other farmers. Now, we had an option to take it on a while, several years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. We declined. And as you can see, there is another farmer here who is working the land and renting the land off my uncle, and I think also renting the buildings as well. But that is coming to an end. And we've actually taken back 2 fields that we leased, and it was all leased in parcels really. So we have taken back 2 fields now that we're gonna farm, and they're on the other side of the woods over there. So we'll go and have a look into see what that looks like. But yeah, big sheds here, big handling facilities, storage facilities as well. So it is my aim to try and take over all these when the current termination, or when the current agreement terminates. So we will be looking to take on a lot more land around here. As you can see, there is a lot more available land to work, which is why we did get that slightly bigger combine than the one that we needed at the time, because it was with the mindset that at some stage we'll have a lot more work to do. But we're just going to continue up this farm track here. And there's 2 fields here that we've taken back on. And there's the 2 fields on... Oh, down we go. On the left here. One is not quite harvested yet, so we're not going to do anything with that. Whoever the current farmer is going to come in and harvest that wheat there when he can. But it's the grass field in the bottom here. Now, part of the agreement in place with my uncle was that they had to return the fields to the previous state. And that meant that this field down the bottom here had to be re-sowed into grass, which he did in the spring. And he's left it. He has no inclination to do anything with the grass there. He's given us permission to harvest it and take off any crop on there. So that's exactly what we're going to do down here. This is our field. It's quite a large field. So we should get a nice looking crop off of here, I would hope. And then we can, look to add that on to our existing work. We'll have this field as well. Good looking field, that one. I'm not sure what the soil samples will be like, but we will definitely see. All right, that's opened up there. And again, we'll just go and get everything adjusted over here. Pull that side down as well. But yeah, I mean, on the whole, it's not a bad looking field, this really. The grass has gone ahead a bit, which is why we're going to put it into hay. And then we'll see what it looks like and get this all carted away. But yeah, these 2 fields will be... It's unsure yet. I don't think we'll be keeping this one in grass. It's probably going to get plowed over just because of where it is. It'll be a little bit easier for us to put this into a cereal crop and then maybe turn another field closer to one of the farms back into grass, is my belief at least. And then we'll see how it goes. But whilst it's here, we'll never say never, and we'll take it. And I'm not sure where we'll get this stacked up, but probably in the shed. Oh, there goes a train. And yeah, we'll see how we get on. But let's get ourselves in. Get this thing fired up again. Takes a little bit of time. We'll just slowly speed this up. All right then, let's just lower that down. We'll get ourselves away. Now, like I say, this is new ground to us here. Another train flying by there. So I've never farmed this before. I know my dad's been on here several times, as has my other uncle, but a little bit new to me. So we'll just take our time to go through it there and see how it's coming along. And just as we get to know the place. Around here, there is a kind of just through the trees there's a little campsite down by the river, which is a little bit of a side business, bit of a diversity that my uncle brought in there. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. I mean, I'm assuming if we lend the land or rent the land, that it will be that will be nothing to do with us. I hope so, at least, because I don't really want to have to worry myself with that at the moment. And we'll see how we go. But otherwise, yeah, it is. It's coming through. Not a bad looking crop here. Like I say, it is going to head in a bit in places, but it's still fairly thick. A little bit uneven in places there, but it would still plow over, and it'd be a good sized field actually to have a cereal crop in here, and we just have these 2. The idea being as well that eventually when we take on the rest of the land, we'll be able to also use those sheds. A lot of storage space for cereal crops in there, which is something we don't have anywhere else at the minute. So that would really allow us to continue to expand. Now the obvious thing is here, and this is one of the reasons why we're looking at tractors such as this one, is because it would significantly increase the acreage. These 2 fields here are adding in about well, this one here is about 15 acres, I think, and that one over there is slightly bigger. So you're probably looking about 35-ish acres from these 2 alone. The total for all of the fields in my uncle's control here is about another 200. So all arable for the most part as well. So we would have to be significantly increasing our our capabilities. So but that is something that we'll see. The rest of the land there is still under lease for another year, 18 months I think, so that's not gonna be something we'll have to worry about right away, but it is something that's on the horizon there that we'll have to make a call on, and we can see how we get going. But ultimately, yeah, there's a lot of things happening with us here at the moment there. We're going to be really looking to expand. Cousin is very excited about taking on the extra livestock work with the cattle. Really something he's very happy to do and loves finishing cattle off and working around them. So that'll give him a lot more work there. As there are 4 of us on the yard, on the farm here at any given time, we do need to be mindful of what that workload looks like. So plenty of work for him with the cattle there to keep himself going. Uncle and Bungle are not getting any younger, so they will continue to do what they can and do a lot of tractor driving work as well for the most part, but they'll be around about to support with livestock where they have to. And then there's myself, who's predominantly focusing on the arable side of things as well. So it should work out quite well, and we'll have to see, but a lot of things that we need to change up. In the next episode there, we'll probably be taking you for a bit of a tour of the new setup, and getting there. I think we're due to start to see some calves coming in very soon. In which case, yeah, we'll really be able to show you what that looks like and take you through the plans there. Got some sheep to move around soon as well and bring them down to Moor Farm, and then start to get that shed full of straw and hay. So yeah, lots of things happening. But yeah, the weather's looking good for now. We just need to get the wheat ready to go so we can actually clear it. And then we'll be on to cultivation work there and see about what it looks like. I feel we're gonna have to do a lot of work with our different with a lot of our ground to get them up to scratch there. The oats really failed us. I mean, 2.5 ton-ish per acre for a couple of our fields of oats was the higher end of what we saw coming through from a yield perspective. So really disappointed with that. So we will have to see why and what's caused it. So that will be something we're going to look into and hopefully get the agronomist back down soon to look into that with us. But it's all just something that all a day's work of an arable farmer, really. At least we have been able to work closely with the agronomy team that we have on board and get them in. It took a while for me to convince the committee that we should really be working a bit closer with them, but they're here, so we'll see where we go. And otherwise, we'll just keep cracking along. They've got baling to do. We're going to be baling some idiot blocks for our neighbors there, so the small square balers coming out. Unfortunately, we have a neighbor who can come in and actually use a little tidy little auto stacker to put them into bigger bales that we can handle. This fills my heart with joy because I really dislike having to move small bales around. And that's it, really. Onwards for another day. We will, like I say, be demoing a few more tractors, so we'll bring you along for that ride as well, just to see. Let us know what you think of the T7 and whether or not we should go for it as well. But we will probably leave it here as we get cracking through this, and we will be back with more throughout the course of the next week. So until then, as I keep missing bits on the corner here, actually, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. I have been Simulation for the Nation. This has been the latest from my farming life. If you have enjoyed and you yet to do so, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Very much appreciate all the interaction and all the very positive comments we're receiving for this. So thank you very much for that, and we will see you all in the next one. Until then, do stay safe, enjoy what you're doing as always, and we'll catch you later.